All right, the next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is reports out there. So there are reports that Anthony Dirrell and Sergiy Derevyanchenko emerged as candidates to fight Canelo Alvarez. And so my question to my bros is going to be, who should Canelo fight next? And I'm going to share my screen for a quick second. Oh, actually, not. Give me a second. Well, actually, I'll just let y'all dive in. Who do you think Canelo should fight first? Sorry, not who should he fight first. Who do you think he should fight out of all the candidates? That's from Anthony Dirrell, Sergiy Derevyanchenko, Billy Joe Saunders, and even Triple G. Out of all the rumors we're hearing from Canelo Alvarez, which fighter would you like to see him fight?
To tell you the truth, who earns it, who really earns it out of those guys is Derevyanchenko. He was cheated with that Triple G fight. We already seen the Triple G fight twice already, and I think it's going to be the same in the third. You know what I mean? I think he earns it. But me personally, I would love to see, even though he's going to lose in that fight, I think he's done. I would love to see him get one last payday, and that would be a huge payday for Dirrell. And he'll bring that home, and he'll share that with the whole family. He even throw half of that to Flint, Michigan, the type of guy he is. But I would love to see him get a payday, but who really deserves it in my book, I see? Well, he deserves it too, but he's done. But I would love to see him get one last payday, and that would be a huge payday for him because, you know, the dog has been a dog. He's been through so much with cancer, coming back and winning the championship. You know, I would love to see him get some huge money or something like that. But that only happens in fairy tales. But then I see Derevyanchenko, how he fought his heart out. And it seemed like these guys were trying to make this fight, but he fought his heart out and he wasn't given a decision. So I would love to see him go in there with a Canelo because I think that he deserves it. Billy Joe Saunders, this is funny about Billy Joe Saunders. I like him a lot. I like his style of fighting. He was really boxing. He's different than when I was seeing from a lot of UK fighters. He's a slick boxer. My problem is, though, what I'm seeing from Billy Joe Saunders, it seems like every time there's a big fight for him to really prove who he is, it seems like he gets to slither out of the fight, either with the nasal spray thing or with the making outlandish comments about the whole beating up on women thing. It seems like something always happens where he can maneuver away from these big fights. I don't know. I really don't know about Billy Joe Saunders, and I don't even think that fight is going to take place. I think Billy Joe Saunders is going to find a way to maneuver his way out of fighting a Canelo. He wants to stay undefeated for some odd reason. So I'm going to say I'm throwing it at Derevyanchenko.
That's what you want, Derevyanchenko.
I think he deserves it.
All right, G.
All right, what I'm going to say.
I said a lot. I'm sorry.
Nah, but I actually like a lot of what Trill is saying. However,
I like 20%.
The reason why I said however is because, man, fellas, don't play yourselves, man. Canelo is not going to fight Dirrell at all. And the reason why is because if Canelo even knocks out Dirrell, you know what's next. He's going to have to fight David Benavidez. Or at least David Benavidez is going to call him out. And everyone's going to compare Benavidez's performance to Canelo's performance against Dirrell. So I think he's going to be like, I don't really want that smoke with that big kid. Let me just go with the Rev. And not saying the Rev is easy, but I think he's thinking, you know what, I could fight the Rev, and that could be a good build-up for the Triple G trilogy. Triple G beat him. Now, if I beat him, then people are like, yo, Canelo's that dude, blah, blah, blah. You know, and there's like a storyline behind that one. But if he beats Dirrell, then people are going to be like, yo, well, why don't you fight Benavidez? And to me, if I was Canelo, I'd be like, nah, I'll let Caleb Plant handle that one. You know, and in regards to Billy Joe Saunders, man, listen, Canelo, you tell him to fight Boo-Boo. You know what I mean? So get Demetrius and Billy to figure that one out and then have a unification with Canelo. As of right now, I wouldn't even entertain Billy Joe Saunders. I would just go to the Rev because to me, it's like, because I see what they're trying to do. So it makes sense. It's the easiest avenue for Canelo. Oh, Ned got the stink face. Let's go, beloved.
All right, Ned, get in there, Ned. Get in there,
Go ahead,
Ned.
Ned. Go ahead, Ned. What you
First off,
disagree
I want to
with?
say Canelo could fight whoever he wants because Canelo is that guy. Second, G, watch your mouth. And I'm gonna quote Caden on this, yo. Keep that same energy with Wilder. You're gonna sit there and say he fight Dirrell, he gotta fight Benavidez. But yo, if Wilder fight Brazil, he don't gotta fight Joshua. Come on now, watch your mouth, G. You gotta keep.
What?
No, I'm
Yeah,
just
You
that
heard
is-
what he said. Watch your mouth,
I'm just
G.
saying.
All right, that's cool.
You give your man an outlet, a way out. But then when other fighters is in the same position, they gotta go for smoke or they scared.
Can I
Damn,
just ask you a
Ned, bring
question?
it. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Ned.
can I ask a question, Ned?
Go ahead, Ned.
Yo, Ned, let me ask you a
Yeah,
simple
He
question.
don't want to smoke with Benavidez, so that's why he's not gonna fight Dirrell.
Okay,
No.
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Simple question.
Huh?
Have I ever said for Wilder not to fight Joshua?
You
were happy. You were happy he didn't take the contract, G. You were happy he rejected the contract, G.
the exit.
Yo,
And
listen,
then-
Just for the record, you were.
Yo,
You
listen,
were.
for the record, I was one of those people that thought Wilder you could negotiate a higher pay, but he lost to Fury, so that
G,
messed up
it's
the
not
whole
even-
But
strategy.
you
AJ
were
was
the
the
one.
bigger picture.
But you
AJ
just
was the M route.
Wait, hold
There's
on, wait.
other fighters in
Ned,
between.
give me a second, Ned. Give me a second.
Go ahead.
But you asked Ned, have
Mhm.
you ever said Wilder not take the Joshua fight? And the answer to that is yes.
No.
You
I
said-
said no. I said, when did I ever say for them not to fight? Because Ned's saying I'm being a hypocrite, saying that, and he used the Brazil as his argument, and I'm like, I've never made that argument, bro. So it's like I've always wanted Wilder versus
You
AJ.
didn't always want.
Always wanted that fight. I always
Listen.
wanted that fight.
But when the fight could be made,
Mm-hmm.
you were happy Wilder rejected a $120 million contract.
Because I thought Wilder.
There's no because. See, you're
more.
doing something that there's no space for. Bro.
Hindsight kicking
But
in.
even still, but hold on, even still,
hindsight.
yo, but Ned, that's not proving your point. You know what I
No,
mean?
my point is you got to keep that same energy.
Actually, Ned,
Which
hold
I
on.
did. I kept the same energy.
Ned,
I did keep that same energy.
Ned. I hate to argue for you, but I don't want to see you get spanked. So let me jump in.
You said you're not built for this.
So actually, no, because Ned, you got him,
You're
but you're
articulating it right.
you're letting him off the hook. Actually, G,
I'll tag you in. There you go.
actually, G, you did say you don't want Wilder to fight AJ because you were happy that he turned down $120 million, which means you didn't want him to fight. Regardless of your reasoning for the fight, you were happy the fight didn't take place. So once again, I don't care about your reason. The only thing that's fact is that you were happy he rejected a contract to fight Anthony Joshua, which in turn answers your question, when have I ever said I didn't want Deontay Wilder to fight Anthony Joshua? The answer to that question is when he was offered $120 million.
That's
Okay.
cool. So then now, how does that correlate to the Canelo situation?
All right.
I'm only answering the question
Well, I don't-
you
I-
asked.
I'll
I'm
give
only
you
answering
that.
the question that you asked.
No, Kaden, I'll give you that.
No,
I want now bring it back
G.
to Canelo and Benavidez. Go.
All right, Ned, you want to
No,
go ahead.
I think no.
when it comes, not only is Canelo specific, but when it comes to other fighters, you
Yeah,
always
all right. So hold on. How about this? How about this?
No,
I don't
I'm just
think-
gonna say it like
I
this.
don't think that's the best.
Canelo,
Bro, if we're talking about
Let's
Canelo,
go.
and now you just said Canelo,
Go
if
ahead.
now you're
Canelo,
saying it's not about Canelo.
No,
Like,
I'm
listen
just
to what
saying
you're
you
saying,
in
Listen,
particular.
if Canelo fights Dirrell, right?
Mhm.
I don't think that everybody's gonna be like, oh, you got to fight Benavidez, because everybody knows what it is. We know what Dirrell is. This is just gonna probably be, I hate to say it, but an event tune-up. I hate this, but because we see where Dirrell is right now. This will be like a showcase to get ready for another fight. You know what I'm saying?
So,
I don't
Troy,
think,
you
I
don't
don't
think
think
people gonna
realistically
compare?
anybody is going to see Canelo and Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? I think if he does fight a Dirrell, that would just be a special attraction fight, and then he'll probably go to fight a Triple G at 160. You know what I'm saying? Or Billy Joe Sanders or what's the name at 168. I don't see like nobody's gonna be calling for him to fight Benavidez. Even when that whole thing came out, they wasn't even entertaining that talk. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I want to continue this debate within the debate because it's kind of entertaining to me. Go ahead, Ned. Back to what you were saying about.
What I was just saying before I get back to my point is just G creates these things where when it's a fight, he was like, I don't think they should take that fight. It's not the right move for that fighter at this time. But when it comes to Wilder, it's a different energy. He goes, Wilder 2020. Wilder 2020. Where he at? But all right, back to my point.
Man,
I think the best fight for Canelo Alvarez.
What?
I think he meant to say that in reverse.
Hold on, we got the clips. We got the clips. Wilder 2020. We got the clips. Wilder 2020. This is your quote.
Sometimes you should.
Wilder 2020. That's your mouth.
But do you not hear what you said earlier? It kind of like.
I know. He kind of
reversed it.
I'm just saying, G has a different energy when it comes to what. No, I'm saying when you call G out on these things, all the
no, you don't messed up.
Fighters, he'll hold him to Wilder. It's Wilder 2020. Wilder 2020. But then, I don't think this fighter should take this fight. I don't think because it's not a great matchup. I don't think they're a dangerous fighter. But Wilder 2020.
Hold on. But listen to what you're just saying. Your argument shouldn't it be that I should be doing that same thing with Wilder? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that I should be the one saying, Wilder, don't take that fight right now, bruh.
You don't.
Everyone else is like, nah, take that fight ASAP. Because then I'll be protecting Wilder. I'm saying, Wilder 2020 for undisputed. That's not protecting him, bro. Like, listen to what you're saying.
I know what he's saying. He's just not explaining it well.
You know what he's trying to say. You mean?
He's not saying Wilder 2020 for undisputed.
I'm just too hyped up right now.
All right, Ned. We've given you so much time to get your point across.
Yeah.
I'll clean it up for you because I understand.
This is why people shouldn't represent themselves in court.
Facts.
I was there.
Hey, listen.
Wait,
hold on.
Wasn't me.
You got hit with the Minister Society.
Hey.
You know you messed up, right?
Listen. So just to go off of what G says, a lawyer who represents himself in court has a fool for a client. That's what we say. Hey, listen. So check this out. Ned is trying to say, if you use G's logic, that if Canelo fights Anthony Dirrell and he beats him, then he's gonna have to fight David Benavidez because Benavidez just beat him, or Benavidez had beaten him. When Deontay Wilder beat Brazil first, I think. No. Actually, no. You know, so he's right. Yeah. So when Wilder beat Brazil, Anthony Joshua had already knocked out Dominique Brazil, but G wasn't calling for Deontay Wilder to fight Joshua next. In fact, G was celebrating the fact that he declined the contract. So all Ned is saying is have the same energy. But Ned went all the way around the world to get there.
Thank you. All I know is I'm free, yo.
He got stuck in time.
You know what it was? Ned had a good point. It was sound. He was so excited he couldn't get it off.
Thank you.
That was so he couldn't get it off.
I got it. I got G this time. I got it.
Yo, I got G in the corner.
Great hoodie's activated.
Take his head off.
Check me out.
Yo,
it's
funny.
So I don't know what to say after this.
So for me, right, this is interesting. Derevyanchenko being on the list, I'm kind of happy because this reminds me of something. When I saw Derevyanchenko lose, we already knew it was possibly to keep the Triple G versus Canelo Alvarez 3 a possibility. But it reminded me of Oscar De La Hoya versus Felix Sturm. And that was the fight Oscar De La Hoya had before the Bernard Hopkins fight. And I remember predicting, I don't know if you remember this, we went to the barbershop on Mass Ave. We got cut up. And I was in the barbershop arguing with everyone. I was like, yo, Felix Sturm is going to beat De La Hoya tonight. And everyone was like, yo, you don't know nothing. You don't know anything about boxing. And I was like, yo, he's 160 pounds. Hell of a jab. I said, yo, that man's jab. And I was explaining to everyone.
Beat him with the jab that night.
Exactly. And I was
all he did was jab.
And everyone was like, everyone was like, yo, I'm crazy. Trill remembers. I remember after that night, Trill was like, yo, D, you should stop betting on boxing. I was like, oh, good. Right? So, So I predicted Felix Sturm beat De La Hoya that night.
They robbed him. They robbed him.
And they robbed him to keep the Bernard
wasn't even
Hopkins
close.
fight going.
It wasn't even close.
To keep the Bernard Hopkins fight going. And Derevyanchenko, in my opinion, beat Triple G, but they robbed him to keep the Canelo Alvarez 3 fight going. So it's nice to see Canelo still consider him. Now, will he select him is another thing. When it comes to Anthony Dirrell, I would love to see Anthony Dirrell get a payday on the way out. I think he's been in one too many wars, and a check would be good for him. If he beats Anthony Dirrell, I do think people may want to see the Benavidez fight, like G said, but only if he does it better. If he does it better, and there's not really any better, right? Because he got him after whatever. But the point is, if he does it quicker, kind of how Manny Pacquiao was doing to some of the opponents he fought after Floyd, people are going to want to see Canelo fight Benavidez. So that is going to, quench people's thirst to see that fight. Like, it's going to, and not quench, but it's going to, make people thirsty to see that fight. So I can understand that where G's coming from. Now, if he fights Billy Joe Saunders, on the other hand, he collects a strap and he gets another dub at 168. So I think Billy Joe Saunders is a good fighter. You never know what Billy Joe Saunders is going to show up. Billy Joe Saunders does have a history.
If he's going to show up.
Thank you, Trill. That's what I was saying. If he shows up.
Like I was about to say, he does have a history of sabotaging the fights, be it testing positive for a banned substance or saying something he probably shouldn't say. With that being said, I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he needs more guidance. I think he needs a team around him. I've been saying this for the longest time. They need like some counseling groups and things for boxers. These boxers the NFL has it for rookies. They have mentors for rookies. They have financial advisors for rookies. We need this in the sport of boxing, although it's counterproductive because these promoters really want their boxers to go broke. But that's another story. But it would be nice to get them some guidance so they know what's acceptable, what's not. But in the sport of boxing, controversy sells most of the time. But we're living in an era, in an age where if you say something, it can cancel your show. And in cancel culture, it will probably be smart for promoters to hire, counselors, PR people, not to do, but to let people know what's acceptable and what's not. And we're available here at Boxing Bros. But with that being said, Billy Joe Saunders to me is a good fight for Canelo Alvarez. It was a guy who Demetrius Andrade was going to fight, and it was going to be his toughest test. So if an already established Canelo Alvarez beats him, I don't want to hear any issues. Billy Joe Saunders is a dangerous fight. It's no guarantee that Canelo's going to walk over him and beat him. To me, that's the toughest fight out of all of them. I favor Canelo Alvarez easily over all the other fighters. Billy Joe Saunders is the one guy that if he shows up, the big if, capital IF, he shows up, we would be in for a really good fight. We'd be in for a really good fight.
The big if. Please like and subscribe and check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And also, please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. This is the Boxing Bros. Thanks for watching.